my son got injured at school, and I've been busy plugging away, doing a bunch of contract work, trying to get some stuff set up for us. Um, it's all good though, because that's like when I'm in my zone, it's when I operate the best. Just to be honest with everybody, it actually gives me like a lot of energy for stuff like this because I spend so much time just like glued to a screen, and by the time I'm finally able to break away from it, a lot of times I have to like force myself. Even just now, I was literally working right up to the last second on trying to get some stuff working. That being said, uh, yeah, it's kind of like exhilarating. I step away from it, and whenever I'm able to, like, just go back into joining the community again and doing some engagement, I feel a little bit refreshed, almost like I have like a second wind on me, kind of. Anywho, so obviously we launched some staking yesterday. Uh, gone over fantastic. A ton of people in. I haven't even had a chance to check where our APRs and stuff are, but I'm going to pull that up right now while I'm talking to you. I'm sure they're still competitive. I've been trying to stay on top of it, but like I said, I have been rather busy today. I did check earlier, and I did notice that like our farm was a little bit below where some of the other market farms were, so we might end up raising that liquidity level just a little bit, just to try to keep it competitive, depending on where the reward returns are on the staking pools, trying to decide like, what you guys, the general market, how you will behave, dependent on the returns are versus those three available pools. Well, the two pools in the farm. Why does my computer absolutely hates this website? I guess I think it's have too many of the preload all of the API for every single one of their things, and they revert all the ones that are gone. Okay, yeah, no, so those are actually both still very, very, very competitive. Exactly where you would actually want them. Uh, we could actually go lower. We could get more people into the 30-day pool, and it would still be extremely beneficial to all parties involved. The 90-day pool looks appropriate. It can go a little bit lower. All right, sorry. That's the first time I checked on that in a little while. Oh, actually, it's allowed. Was wondering and has not checked. The APR for the 30-day locked pool is 36%. The APR for the 90-day locked pool is 49.7%. Give you is over double on both of them what you would get from the Brew Lab pools as far as your return. It's a little bit less, or sorry, it's actually more. It's more than you, yeah. It's double what you would get from the Cody pool as well, at least from what Brew Lab sites that. It's not. There's a lot of people who are more familiar than others with staking and farming and stuff. Um, we said in the very beginning we would not have any type of astronomical returns that wouldn't be feasible for us to sustain. The idea with these pools are that they're all running for at least the next year. So we want to make sure that they all stay operational over that year time span. That's not even in question whether or not that's doable. That's definitely doable. But we'd actually like to at least keep adding to our locked value systems, and that means different additional pools over time and changing how these pools work. The only way that we would ever end up shutting down one of these original three pools over the course of the next year for any reason was if we had another better competitive option. And there is stuff out there that's coming out. We've already talked about it a little bit in the main chat, talking about some auto compounding and stuff like that. There are a lot of people that like to set it and forget it, and that's kind of the name of the game when it comes to staking. So I see why people would want that feature. That is something that we talked about. It just wasn't available at the time from Brew Labs in the way that we needed it. And I talked about it this the other night, but I felt pretty strongly about going ahead and getting the staking pools up and operational. We had a moment where we had a little bit of a lull in volume, and we're trying to prepare ourselves for our next marketing steps and the directions that we're going to be taking moving forward. And we thought it was a great idea to move that product forward and the line of things as far as what our development path was. Go ahead and move that product forward, allow for some locked value to enter the project. It makes us look just a little bit better as far as outside investors looking in. Um, it shows that we have a diamond floor no matter what at some level. So people on that alone can feel some level of security entering into the market as well. Uh, it's just another way of us rewarding those holders that are diamond hands. You yourself get more of what you love and what you believe in. MetaBUSD coin. We're not going away. We stay very active. So I think everybody knows it's a pretty safe bet. Development's constantly ongoing, and we have some big things in the works. As soon as we're able to drop our NFT line, raise a little bit more capital, we'll probably actually start to look at additional reward options for staking pools. I'm not giving any promises that that's something that's immediately come out the gates. Uh, Once we finish our first staking line, we're really going to be shifting gears quickly to, or sorry, our first NFT line. We're going to be quickly shifting gears into our second NFT line, along with getting that VR wallet out. So that's what our main goals will be. But at the same time, if we are able to sell out all of our NFTs, raise enough capital to cover our marketing and development steps, then we'll probably also look at going ahead and carrying an additional reward pool. And what I mean by that, I do mean like an additional token, not MBC. So you'd stake MBC, and your reward pair would be more than likely, I would think that what would make most sense for us, being that we are MetaBUSD coin, would be to give a reward pool additional. So even if volume's down, you can lock your value in MBC, stake it into a pool, and receive additional BUSD reward. The whole reason why you joined the part, not the whole reason. You of course believe in the project and you believe in the long term. But as far as a hodler wanting to make sure that you get the stable coin reward, it's a quick and easy way for us to inject an ability that is outside of direct volume control that allows you to get that stable coin reward. Again, it costs the project something. We provide that liquidity, but the project, are rewarded with locked value, and as well rewarding our engaged holders that we uh, we owe everything to. The whole reason why we're here today, having this conversation, and we'll continue to have many more conversations moving forward. It's definitely you guys. That being said, I had talked about a live stream event that I was going to be doing with mobile trades this afternoon, and ooh, sorry, I see something that I need to take a look at. Okay, cool. Anyways, I had a live stream event that I was supposed to be doing with mobile trades this evening. Because of some stuff that happened with my son and my schedule changing rapidly this afternoon, we did postpone that. I'm not going to actually be doing that with him until this upcoming Monday. I do apologize about that long delay like that, but his schedule is kind of booked up, and we want to make sure when we're doing it at a good time that we think we're going to be able to get in front of a lot of people. He wanted to be able to spread it a little bit throughout his community and allow me to spread it a little bit throughout my community, kind of hype it up and build it up a little bit, try to get some good viewership and engagement in that live stream. Completely makes sense. Everything all together just worked out the way it did, to where this is just not just the decision that we had to make, but overall probably a pretty good decision. That being said, uh, I'm still waiting on some legal stuff to finish getting filed. And as soon as that stuff does get filed, I will hopefully be able to announce to everybody the new addition to our team, and we will get some heavy marketing from this individual rolling forward. Um, we're kind of judging these two things. We're trying to lay them out side by side, along with uh, some funds that we have raised and have available right now to kind of do that next big push into the NFTs, as well as give some proper coverage to just the last few weeks of development within the project already. We've done some really great things. We have some amazing offerings. We just need to get the word out to people that we have these offerings and we've completed these items. We don't want to do it in the wrong way. Everybody here should know we have publicly available wallets for our marketing and our buyback. We've been open about the fact that we're not using our buyback right now. It's not working. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So we're more than willing to spend that money on marketing as well. So everybody should know here that we have between $20,000 to $30,000 worth of marketing funds available. We just don't want to blow those funds on stuff that's not going to work or not represent the brand that we really, really not only want but need to. And continue to have bad coverage of us. And we've had a lot of bad. I'm sorry, not bad. That's the wrong word. Not the proper coverage that really represents who we are and what we want to, uh, what we want to represent and the company that we want to be, especially moving forward. Oh no. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to go check on my son real quick. Can somebody else talk for me for just a second, please? I think my guys went to sleep. Um, Here we go.
You're good, man. Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope everybody's having a good night.
It's been pretty good, man.
That's
It's
good.
been really interesting to see like the massive community, the positive community feedback we've gotten on the staking pools, eh?
Oh yeah, that's been fantastic.
Right? It's and you know what, man, this has also served as a massive educational just in crypto in general, being able to see just the answers that come in and the things to look out for. I think that's been that's been more worth than anything in my opinion.
Oh yeah, the whole farming thing was big for me because I've never farmed anything. Uh, so learning about all that and really being part of it, from Chris talking to Brew Labs and getting all that set up and hearing all of it from the ground up. I mean, I learned a ton in the last week or two. It's been
Yeah,
crazy.
right. Yeah, well, that's true, man. Like the stuff that we've learned on this project is the stuff people go like 2-3 semesters to school for, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Damn. And
Come on, Dre.
How you doing? How you doing, Drew?
hey, how you doing?
All right, good, good. I want to ask a quick question. Would anybody be able to help me out or give me some information on the staking and farming? I went on Brew Labs, but I didn't quite get it. So could anyone of you explain for me, please? Process?
Oh, that makes sense.
So yeah, I'll tell you that the more simple one is definitely the staking.
Hey,
So
Henry,
it's
I am back now. Would you like me to take this question? I'm sorry.
yeah, go for it, man.
Please take
Not a
it.
problem.
Your
Okay.
son okay?
Yeah, he's fine. I don't know. He's just upset. He'll be all right.
Okay.
Um, so a quick breakdown: farming and staking are really the same thing. You're locking value away. The difference being that farming, you have to lock liquidity. And what liquidity is what the entire backbone of decentralized finance and exchange is built on. It allows us to make a pool, a liquidity pool, where anybody on an open market is allowed to connect a wallet that's attached to a network and exchange one token for another token. The way that they do this is a liquidity provider In the case of most projects are the liquidity provider of their project. So I raised a bunch of BNB between everybody here, and we provided that into a pool along with a bunch of MetaBUSD tokens. Those two tokens were paired together at whatever rate to create a price per token for BNB. So MBC plus BNB together make a liquidity pair. And now you can trade that liquidity pair for either MBC or BNB, whatever. And you can swap those tokens back and forth to each other just fine. Their represented value is exchanged through that liquidity pairing. Now, so whenever you want to go to farm, you have to take some of the MBC that you already own and you have to get additional BNB. You pair those two together and you lock it into a pool. That's a farming pool, a liquidity staking pool. So, why you would do that is for two reasons. A, it's going to act the same way a staking pool does, and it's going to reward you with MBC, additional MetaBUSD coin, based on the amount of time that you're in that pool and your ratio of liquidity that you provide that pool. That reward structure alone is typically usually enough to set off or to offset most other impairments. But in addition to that, there is a volume reward that I have not actually gone over with most participants here. It's a little bit more complicated to explain. But if you've gone into the farming pool, it has explained it to you whenever you entered it. Because you are a liquidity provider, anybody who provides liquidity actually receives a liquidity fee. This fee is processed through PancakeSwap. And as a percentage liquidity provider, you actually receive a tiny, tiny, tiny percent of every single transaction. Um, and the reason why I'm explaining this right now, currently, just to be 100% clear and transparent with everybody, our volume right now is too low for this to actually be an offset of any costs that you might occur within the pool. But just for your general knowledge on farming and how it works, and the things that you need to take into consideration whenever you go to do farming, um, this is another added feature into farms that helps you calculate your impairment. A lot of the times, if you can get involved in a farm that does have a lot of volume that flows through that liquidity pair, then just that reward alone is typically enough to offset one thing or the other. In time, as our volume picks up, that reward alone will actually probably end up being like the largest reward difference that you receive between all the rewards if the volume is high enough. Right now, again, our volume is really low, and for our project, it's really not too much to be taken into consideration for your uh, calculations on whether or not this is something that you want to do. I'm sorry, this is long winded just to get to this point. But farm liquidity staking, you pair MBC with BNB. That
Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I had like a 2 minute summary. He's going way more in depth than I was going to. Dude, I bet you his
Okay.
phone died. Oh no.
All right. So with the
allow you to
staking,
stake.
Oh, there he
okay.
is.
All right. There we go.
What, Chris?
Hello? Sorry, am I
Dude,
here now?
no way.
What?
So yeah, you just blanked out for like 30 seconds.
Okay, cool. So with
So just
the
go ahead and start all over. So what is farming and staking again? I'm joking.
pair stakes, I know. So with the so take your liquidity pair, stake it into the farm. Once that's staked into the farm, you can remove it at any time that you want to. And whenever you do remove it, the entire time it's in the farm, you are earning additional MBC, and you still receive your BUSD reflections that you would receive from volume. Whenever you go to remove that liquidity, you then have to still receive your MBC and your BNB back. There's a lot more that goes into it from there for you to make decisions on farming. It has a lot to do with impairment loss. And that's why a lot of people will just simply say, oh, it's a lot easier to factor in staking on whether or not you want to do it one way or the other. That being said, it's worth some research. Farming is extremely beneficial to the project as well as the end user. I know some people that have farmed heavy, and they have made plenty of returns that would tell you it definitely offsets the impairment loss that they may or may not have received during that time period. Okay, that's enough about farming. Let's move on to the staking pools. The staking pools are fairly simple. You are depositing MBC into the staking pool, and it will give you additional MBC the entire time that you're in the staking pool. The CBUSD rewards that you would have received if you did not enter the staking pool. Those rewards are pooled at the staking pool on your UI. So whenever you go to the pool itself, you want to check on your rewards. That'll tell you how much MBC you've received. That'll tell you how much BUSD you've received. You can either harvest that stuff, collect it, take it back to your wallet, or you can compound it back into the pool. There's a lot of other small things there to go over, like such as the gas. You go compounding stuff whenever it's only a couple cents, you should probably wait till it's a couple bucks. That way, whenever you go to do that transaction, you're not paying more in gas than you are for the token value. As well, I would like to mention that one of our pools is a 90-day locked pool. That means that whenever you place your tokens in there, the tokens that you place in there are locked in for 90 days. You can compound on those tokens all you want, and it will not reset your timer. If you add an additional amount, the original tokens that you placed in there, that timer is not reset. But the additional tokens that you've added, that timer just then starts. So, say you're in the 90-day pool, in a month and you go, you know what, this is working out great. I deposited 100 million tokens in there. I'm making plenty of money. I'm going to go ahead and put another 100 million in. That's fine. 90 days from the beginning of the very first one, you get those out. 90 days from the second one, you get those out. You can pull your stake tokens back out. And it'll show you that as well. Sorry. The other pool that we have is a 30-day pool. Same concept. You stake MBC, you receive additional MBC. That pool is locked for 30 days. So if you go in there and you stake your tokens in there, you cannot remove them for 30 days. Same for the 90-day pool. There is a fee on exiting the pools. No fee to enter the pool, a very, very small fee to exit. A 30-day pool comes with a 0.3%, so a third of a percent of your MBC that you earned is cycled back over to the deployer wallet, and I burn it. So 0.3% on the 30-day pool and 0.1% on the 90-day pool. Whenever you exit, your reward will be taxed that amount. Just your MBC, not your from the liquidity provided for that pool. Okay. I think that's all of the basics. In order to do any of these things, you just have to go in the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to go into your dApp browser. So if you're in Trust Wallet, go to your dApp browser, or any additional wallet as well. I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. My daughter needs to ask me a question. Yes. What do you mean he unplugged the thing? Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. My internet's working right now. You guys can all hear me, right? Oh, it's because I'm on Liam and I'm sorry. Well, can you plug it back in? Okay. Sorry. My son unplugged my internet router. And my daughter came to tell me to fix it. But my internet's working. And then I realized oh, that's terrible. Anyway, um, so I think that's all the essential stuff when it comes to the staking itself. There's obviously no transfer fees on our contract, so you don't have to worry about moving your tokens from like the pool to your wallet or from your wallet to the pool or anything like that. The only time that there's a possible fee, that would maybe occur if you personally decide to go to PancakeSwap and either pair or unpair liquidity. If you do that without my knowledge, then there's nothing I can do to stop like that tax from occurring. So you need to use the constructor to do that part to make your liquidity to either pair it or unpair it. You don't have to. You can privately, you will get taxed the 15% or the 12% that is taxed on all buys and sells. Whenever you pair and unpair liquidity, that's exactly what it looks like from the router's point of view. Outside of that, there's not even a risk of you paying any tax fees on any of the transactions. That is the only one, and there is a way for you to do it without paying that tax fee. Just go through Brew Labs Constructor. If for some reason for you, you can contact me directly, and I can facilitate that for you. I can get you exempt to unpair and then put it all back together for you. That being said, constructor's working fine. I tested it again today after we did some updates, and everything there is good to go. You can go or create liquidity and and then break their liquidity and receive your tokens back without any issue. Thing that I was gonna say, sorry. The easiest way for me to do any of this stuff, Brew Labs, is to go into like my Trust wallet, go to my dApp browser, go directly to that website via that link, and just do my transaction straight from there. Uh, I literally get it done in like 2 or 3 steps. I don't know for the people that have a real hard time with it, how they do have a real hard time with it. It confuses me because it really is for the pools or for the farms. So I believe it's brewlabs.info. Sorry, earn.brewlabs.info/farms or /pools. And then from there, you just click on the pool, click on connect, click on like stake, and it's done. Again, if there's any issues and if anybody's not able to do it, for sure, hit us up. We've talked a couple people through the steps on the main chat. Um, I apologize. I haven't got that video out. My wife said she was going to do it and she hasn't yet. I will get a simple walkthrough video put out. And even picture guides, but I will get a video made on how to do it. At least I'll make a video on like how to do it from Trust Wallet, SafePal, and MetaMask, Chrome browser, for instance. And I've tested it on all of those, and it works flawlessly on all of them. Are there any questions that anybody has for me this evening?
Yeah, one more quick question. What's the risk when you stake it? performing? Like, do you lose? Can you lose?
Really?
How does that work?
Uh,
Don't don't know.
yeah. I mean, so okay. Is it just me, or sometimes Captain's voice in AMA goes high speed after it breaks up? Sometimes it does. Okay, so the risk. I mean, the risk is as far as staking goes. The risk is the fact that you're locked in for 30 days or for 90 days. So, um, and that's just what I like to play out for everybody. Worst case scenario would be on the staking pools. If the price tanked, you can't pull your tokens out. They're in there. There's nothing you can do for 30 days, or there's nothing you can do for 90 days. As well, with a farm, there's more and less risk. The farm, you have more risk of impairment loss. And I've gone in depth on what impairment loss is a few times now. I honestly cannot go in depth on that right this very second. Something that you just need to read up on, research on. Impairment loss is it occurs whether the price goes up or down. Um, it has specifically to do with your liquidity pairing, what the price was of your liquidity pairing at the time, and it occurs again once those two prices separate further away from each other. What your price was when you paired, if it goes up real high from there, or if it goes real far down low from there, then you've accrued impairment loss. And you need to do the math on that to figure out impairment loss is like viable. But the farm you can pull out of and put back into at any point. So it's the risk is dependent on the investor, just to tell you the truth. There's some people that farm all day, every day, never accrue any impairment loss. They stay on top of their math, they stay on top of their numbers, they know exactly what they're doing. There's a lot of people too that try to get into farming but don't know exactly what they're doing, and they think it's a lot like staking. And then they get themselves in trouble. And the way that we have these pools and farms set up right this very second, liquidity and the rewards are so high, there's not a whole lot of risk to the end user. That being said, moving forward, the more volume we do and the higher fluctuations we have in price and stuff, volume might become, the farm itself might become a little more volatile, and you might be running a risk of a little bit more impairment loss. But the entire time that we've had the farm running, for instance, we've stayed really close to our same price. And so, but our actual liquidity pairing is fairly close to what it's been the entire time that the farms ran. So, as just an example, I would assume, and I can ask a couple people that I know that are farming pretty heavy, but they've probably occurred like close to zero impairment loss so far. Now, again, there is risk with farming. I've never said there hasn't been. I've let everybody know from the beginning. Of the two, farming occurs the best, also occurs more reward. Farming is much more. You get higher rewards from farming, especially if volume kicks up. If volume kicked up on us really, really high, some of the farmers would just make a killing, and everybody would be super jealous. But there is risk in farming. Staking, again, not so much. As long as you have a pretty fair and firm understanding of where the market's going, it really helps the more and more people how much locked value is into the project already. Um, I know, for instance, we have like $22,000 in liquidity on our farm. I don't know off the top of my head what the pools currently have in them. Let me check, see if I can see that. It looks like we have about what 30 million, or sorry, 30 trillion tokens. Is that right? If so, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So that's wild. Can you real quick, what that is in liquidity? I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry. I wish. Or can somebody just tell me what the price is? I can't see it. So where's that button? I can do the math in my head in like a second. Somebody just tell me the price, losers. All right, 0004, and it's 30 trillion. So that would be 120. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. $120,000 worth of locked value. I believe that would be the case. I'll double check after I get done with the AMA just to be sure. But yeah, I think that's correct. 130,000 or 120, somewhere around there. 120, $130,000 worth of locked value in the pools themselves. An additional $22,000 worth of liquidity in the farm. And let me see if I can find that number too. Oh, it'll take forever for my page to load. Does anybody know what's locked in the farm for NBC? Or not locked in, but what's actually held in the farm right now?
I could probably tell you here in a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm such a
You're
jerk.
good.
My son,
I just have to get there.
my son's like screaming the worst curse words at me right now in the background.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's the worst curse words. He doesn't say any of like the small ones or anything like that. He just constantly says the really bad ones that you don't want to know. Nice. Sorry, I was checking on one other thing. Okay. Get those numbers for me, man. No.
I'm looking, but I actually don't see where it says how much is farmed, how much is currently in.
It's okay. Let's try to figure that out later. I'm sure I can. Oh, you know how I could figure? You can go to the contract, but you don't have to do all that right now. I'm sorry. I'll dive into it later on. You can go to the farm contract, and the farm contract would tell you what's held in there.
Looks like 166,000 worth.
That's insane. Cool. So yeah, 166 and like yeah, so like close to $300,000 worth of. That actually makes sense. That lines up almost perfectly with what a. So it's almost equivalent across the board. Interesting. Very, very interesting. 166, 300, 3, 2. Gosh. So that's less than, yeah. So it's about like what, 18%, about 17 or 18% total locked value. What I think is what we're messing with there. Again, I'm sorry. I will double. I think that's correct. 17 to 18% total lock value. Again, that's highly, highly impressive. So whenever you look at something like that and you try to like compare on whether or not the value of the token itself is going to drop whenever you're considering whether or not like staking is viable, or in general, if you're a new like a new customer or whatever, and you are looking at whether or not this is a proper investment, and you see percent of the overall supply locked right now, total locked value of $300,000, liquidity lock of, not, sorry, all the liquidity is locked, but a liquidity farm of $22,000 direct LP. That tells you right there that there's at least a certain level of a floor that you can be safe going into, that your dollar is going to stop at. And what I mean by that is like there's a lot of investments that people look at that say, hey, this thing could fall down to zero. Well, technically not here. If you were like a brand new person and you were looking at it today, you're like, for every dollar that I put in, I guess the lowest it's going to go down to is about 18 cents right this very second. That total value lock will change over time. We'll continue to get more and more people to lock value, build those percentage points up, and again, look like a steadier investment for anybody new coming along. All the great holders of the project. I love it. Is there any other questions that anyone has? Alrighty. Thank you all very, very much for being here with me this evening. I need to go get a little boy back in bed. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. And if there's any other questions, concerns, or anything like that, you can always find me in the chat. I'm sorry I was, again, a little gone for the most part during the day today. I'll be available a little bit more this evening. Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right, thank you, Kim.